something enters your realm of perception that doesn't fit any of those models, then it's that's the joy and fun of learning, also the pain, the humility of learning necessary to learn. And I guess I would also explain why Bitcoin just takes a long time to get your head around, because it is one of those things, right? It's for most people don't have the psychological architecture, let's say, to deal with something like Bitcoin. Because
And I wonder, and I want to be careful about most people,
mm-hmm.
because I think when you say that, or when it's easy to, and I'm not nothing to do with you, Robert, but if I said that, what I naturally think is, I don't say that because I think it's those. What I naturally do is, or what I could naturally do is I'm smarter than those people, right? They don't have the ability. I try to infer that my group is more important than other people.
Right.
And I actually don't think that that's true. I think their models might not be updated. They
Yes.
getting misinformation, and their models might not be updated for a whole bunch of reasons that they
You're
don't
you're
see.
saying it more clearly. I should have said it that way. That's what I was intending to say. Is it we all have models,
Yeah.
most of our or collection of models, whatever that is, worldview, I guess. Bitcoin seems to emerge outside of most people's worldview. Like most people don't have a model to interpret Bitcoin. And indeed, like I didn't for a long time. I had to spend hundreds of
I
hours
lo-
studying things
so
to
so I,
build that
lo- I
model.
love you.
So
I love you just said that. I love
yeah.
because what ends up happening is, once we have a new model, and everything keeps on reinforcing that model, everything we see in the world, like, it's
Mhm.
actually pretty easy, right? When you see what's going to happen next in the rest of the world,
Mhm.
um, it's it's pretty logical, and what's happening, and how people are confused, what that looks like. I look through it and I go, okay, this is just like, I almost don't need to talk about it anymore. It's
Yeah.
just a pattern of an existing system trying to fight off the inevitable.
Right.
And what's happening on Bitcoin is pretty simple to see, and because and my model on it just keeps on reinforcing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is what's going to happen next, and everything else. But even coming to Bitcoin and understanding that learning, I easily forget that I didn't once know it.
Mhm.
Right?
Right.
It's once you're there, you can't believe that you were once somebody that looked through the world the same way as a whole bunch of other people look through the world today.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's important, I think, to reflect on those times. Right. I still hear terms like I'll hear someone use the term monetary policy, for instance, which is something like guys like you and I, we just rattle it off and don't think twice about it. But for most people, again, most people's model in the world, I'm not, again, not to categorize most people, but I think that term doesn't hold a lot of meaning for a lot of people because a lot of people haven't wrestled with those ideas or
They haven't,
specialize in those ideas like
yeah,
we have.
they haven't needed to. They haven't
Yes.
needed, because you trust at that level. If you said everything's in levels,
Right.
you trust a different and effectively at the bottom of that is, oh no, I trust that. That's, I don't need to think about that.
Yes. And so back to that idea of consensus on the meaning of words or terms. If you or I say monetary policy and we mean one thing and someone else hears it and they interpret another, there's the error, right? There's the error in the computer network is we're not connecting
Yeah.
our
If
synapses with their synapses, I guess.
if your model if your model is, yeah, climate change is going to kill us all, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
the number one threat in the world. Then finding that model with Bitcoin uses energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is like, it's hard to overcome emotion with logic, right?
Yes.
And even
Right.
and if that model is based on top of a monetary policy that makes the entire system worse, and you
Yeah.
can't solve it, it doesn't matter. Everybody's reinforcing, essentially, you're saving the world, and you're actually making the whole thing worse.
Right.
But try to break through that from you're wrong. It's a
Yeah.
hard place to break through from. you have to almost go deeper on that question. That's why I keep coming back to that question. Okay, how do you solve saving the world through through a monetary policy or a system that must grow forever
Right.
on a planet? And it's only then that people can go, oh, maybe I'll look somewhere else at a deeper level. But
Okay. So
these emotional triggers kind of that in our brains
yeah.
that fire those neurons faster, right? Or just lock in memories. Those they'll lock in a memory, and we won't see the error code because of the emotion.
Mhm.